The constitutional question has dominated Scottish politics in recent years, but the contested nature of the process, especially whether or not there should be an independence referendum, has crowded out meaningful discussion of what the options are for Scotland's future, of what those options mean, and how they have been reshaped by Brexit, by Covid, and the many other challenges we've been facing. Here at the RSE, we held a series of workshops and other events to explore these issues and to think about the new context in which that debate is taking place. Our purpose was not to provide recommendations in relation to alternative constitutional futures. That's for others and ultimately for the people of Scotland to decide. Instead, we sought to apply the RSE's mission statement to make knowledge useful. That means applying the knowledge and the expertise of our colleagues to the challenges facing Scotland and these islands as we consider our constitutional future. Our first task was to re-examine devolution and the Scottish Parliament as it is now. The original legislation that led to the setting up of the Scottish Parliament is 25 years old. It sets out the powers and the purpose of the Scottish Parliament and the split between its areas of responsibility and those that the UK Parliament continues to exercise for Scotland. That balance of power, often referred to as the devolution settlement, has been revisited a few times, most recently in 2016, when the Scottish Parliament was granted more powers, especially over taxes and social security. But these changes predated Brexit, they predated Covid, and the cost of living crisis that we are currently in. And each of those have brought new pressures to bear on the Scottish Parliament, and some of our experts have questioned whether the devolution settlement as it stands is still fit for purpose. With our colleagues in the Institute for Government in London and the Bennett Institute for Public Policy in Cambridge, we also explored how well the Westminster system in London works for the devolved nations of the UK. The Constitution of the UK is founded upon the principle that Westminster Parliament is sovereign and has ultimate authority. Now, that gives very little constitutional protection to the devolved institutions. It means that the Westminster Parliament can pass laws in devolved areas even if the devolved institutions object. Now, normally, by a convention known as the Sewell Convention, the Westminster Parliament respects the wishes of the devolved parliaments, but in recent years that hasn't always been the case, especially when laws are created that emerged from Brexit and the Brexit process. Our experts explored some ways in which devolution might be afforded more protection. We also looked at ways in which the nations and the regions of the UK might be given more of a voice in Westminster, for example, in a reformed House of Lords and a chamber of the nations and the regions. Of course, not everyone sees Scotland's future as lying within the United Kingdom. For many, independence offers a better alternative. But those advocating independence for Scotland also must confront the new context created by Brexit and by Covid. And we explored in our workshops what an independent Scotland's membership of the European Union would mean for its future relationship with the rest of the United Kingdom. Under that scenario, the border between Scotland and England would be a new border between the European Union and what remained of the United Kingdom. And that brings its challenges. Our experts also explored the currency options that would face an independent Scotland. There are two viable options here. The first, continued use of the UK pound within an informal currency union, or, alternatively, the establishment of a new Scottish currency. Now, each of these has advantages and disadvantages, and we explored the balance of risk and reward between the two. But what do the people of Scotland want for Scotland's future? Ultimately, it's their call. And the answer here really depends on how you approach the question. Opinion polls suggest that Scots are divided more or less down the middle on the issue of independence. But there is a lot of public opinion data gathered in academic surveys that allows you to explore a bit deeper beneath the bonnet of public opinion. That suggests a much more complex pattern with varying levels of commitment amongst those expressing a preference for independence or for union. These insights open up the possibility of finding ways to move beyond seemingly entrenched positions, where each side aims to defeat the other, towards something that might look more like a consensus, perhaps a settled will for how Scotland is to be governed in the years to come. The RSE stands ready and able to contribute to these debates. The workshop summaries and our experts' reports are all available on the RSE website. We hope that you find them useful.